Over the last month and a half, we sold off most of our furniture and a lot of things, packed up the rest, sold our house and our car, and drove across the country to Phoenix, Arizona. Before we ramp up the next phase of Break the Twitch, I wanted to close out this particular chapter of our lives with a video.
Status update. How's it going?
It's going okay. Watering plants right now.
On top of 2 suitcases.
Yes.
Well, you can kind of get a sense. We've sold a lot of stuff.
Unfortunately, we didn't get a ton of footage, but fortunately, Amy does like to take pictures of all the things we sell and donate.
But still a bunch of stuff here. A lot of things are accounted for.
Even though we've decluttered so much stuff over the last several years, the whole process of packing and moving was still pretty stressful. It's hard to imagine how much worse it would have been if we hadn't started years earlier.
It's kind of all a mess at the moment. Truck's sitting out there, ready to go.
Him too.
What do you think, Pup? You get to come too. You get to come too.
And when you sell your house, there are things that you never really think about, like timing the last mowing of your lawn with the sale of your lawnmower so that the lawn will still be cut when the next owners get it.
I'm really hot, even though it's cooled off quite a bit from earlier. It's super muggy, but come check out this packing Tetris situation.
Okay, so I was really proud of this because we packed our entire 3-bedroom, 2-bath house into a 12-foot truck, which is meant to be for just a studio or 1-bedroom apartment.
We're on our way to the recycle center and also the donation center for just a single run to drop off stuff.
This was the final errand in our car, which we then sold the very next night. With everything loaded up, we spent the final night on the mattress on the floor. It actually worked out really well because it sort of held everything in place in the back of the truck. But with that, we were off, starting out on our drive to Arizona. But within about an hour, we started having transmission issues and ended up in Kansas City, waiting for the truck to get fixed. Which, it turns out, could not be fixed, and we had to swap trucks, which taught me a major lesson. While I was frustrated that it was happening in the first place, I couldn't help but be grateful that we just had a 12-foot truck. I started imagining what that process would have been like if I had had a 24-foot truck, or something even bigger. After that, everything was pretty much smooth sailing, at least until we got to New Mexico and part of northern Texas. We hit a crazy storm. I mean, this was one of the worst storms I've ever driven in by far. It was hailing, there were wild thunderstorms. Just take a look for yourself. I think this was the heaviest rain I've ever experienced. This is how wet we got just walking from the parking lot to the hotel door. But fortunately, everything cleared up the next day and we finished our drive to Phoenix. We got the truck completely unpacked in about a day and a half, and now we're just taking some time to get settled in. So now, here we are. I'd love to share just a couple of takeaways that I had from the process now that I shared this story with you. The first thing is that we often think about minimalism and owning less stuff and see this dream life that we want to have, and we think that owning less stuff will get us there. Now, that might be true. It's entirely possible that removing distractions and owning less stuff can actually help you achieve those goals. But as I was moving stuff from one truck to another, somewhere around Kansas City, Missouri, I realized that so much of minimalism is all about reducing the impact of major disruptions in your life. It really comes down to those moments that would be stressful, difficult, and painful, and it takes those moments and makes them less bad. Owning less stuff made that situation so much better than it would have been otherwise. The second thing is, if you even think that you're gonna have to move in the next 2 to 3 to 4 months, just start selling stuff now. Sell stuff, donate stuff, do whatever you can to just lighten the load. Because when you take your time a few months in advance, You are not so rushed to sell things. Thus, you tend to get a better price for them because you're not in an urgent situation to need to sell it, and you have a little bit more control of the situation. So not only will you make more money, but you have a little more control over how things leave your home along the way. It makes it that much better, a little more intentional as well. The third and final thing is to do what you can to focus on the in-between moments and appreciating the process. Whenever you're doing something like selling a house or moving or doing some major life transition, it's really easy to focus on that end goal and just try to get through it as quickly as possible. And I'll be the first to say, definitely do what you can to take time to appreciate the in-between moments. It might feel like chaos, but at the end of the day, you won't remember necessarily the things that you let go of. You won't really remember even some of the stressful things about the process, but you will remember those small things that you do, like sitting in your backyard on a cool spring Minneapolis day and enjoying some food from one of your favorite restaurants. Those are the little things that stick with you. So do what you can to allow the time that it takes and enjoy the process along the way. Now that things are settling down, there's a lot more coming for Break the Twitch, the podcast, the member community, and so much more. So make sure you're following along here on YouTube or on Instagram at Break the Twitch. So check us out there, and we'll see you very soon.